I'm so glad you're joining us. These are some tough times we're going through right now, and I don't want you to stay isolated. I feel it's really important to be supported. Hi, Karen. I'm glad you're here. So happy. Anyway, it's isolated times. I want you to feel supported, and I want you to feel like you have a place to turn to. Hi, Anne, actually, Catherine, and Joan. Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear. Yeah, dogs are great. Yes, I mentioned if you just came on that my office faces the street that I live on, and Amazon and UPS come, and my dog just has a heyday. Oh my gosh, Maureen, I'm so glad you're joining us from England. Thank you for joining us. And I'm so glad everyone can be here because this is definitely a time that we want to come together. So I think we're going to get started right now and get things going. So let's get started on, um, oh, I brought up the wrong notes. Hang on one second. Here they are. Let's get started today on the 4 steps you want to be taking to keep your dream alive during the coronavirus. And I think that one of the biggest things that happens right now is we get into a lot of fear. Has anybody been feeling kind of fearful? Mark your comments down if you have about what's going on in the world today. And it is really easy to also give up on our dream thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to find this right person because this is all happening right now. And we really do get scared. And we forget what happens when we get scared is we end up going into what I call a rabbit hole. And when we go in a rabbit hole, what happens is we cannot think. Literally, we cannot think. We cannot get past the fears that are happening for us. Now, let me talk about how this goes, what this looks like, a little bit about what these fears can look like. In regular dating, a fear can look like nobody's going to like me because I'm over 50, or I feel invisible when I'm out there, or men only want to date younger women. Anybody have any fears like that? Or God only knows how long we'll stay self-isolated. And will I ever be able to get out there again? Will I be too old to get out there again? And these kinds of fears can start us spiraling into what I call a rabbit hole. Because actually, what we're doing is we're telling ourselves stories about what's going on. So let's take the example of every man only wants to date younger women. Our friends oftentimes perpetuate that story. If you really talk to men that are our age, most will tell you, oh yeah, I dated a younger woman and I thought, what do I have in common with them? And they came back to someone our age because they found that they had something in common. But most women don't talk to men about this, and they talk to their friends who also think that men only love women who are younger. And what happens is it becomes a story. And then we start to prove that that story is true. And when we're trying to prove it's true, what we'll do is we'll go and we'll collect evidence to make us think it's true. So what do I mean by that? Well, you'll go out with your friends and they'll tell you about all the men that they see online that are looking for younger women. And you go, see, this is true. And it puts you in fear and you start to think, I will always be alone. For the rest of my life, I will be alone because I'll never find a man who's going to like me at this age. And men do love women our age. They really do. Good men do too. So we tell these stories that end up triggering us into what I call a rabbit hole. And a rabbit hole, like I mentioned earlier, keeps you from seeing the possibilities of what's possible. So yesterday, I even got in a bit of a rabbit hole with feeling a little trapped inside. Anybody else sometimes feeling trapped right now? But I'm really a homebody. So for me to feel trapped, I knew I was telling myself stories. And what I did was I wrote down all my fears about being at home right now. And then I wrote the possibilities down, and I wrote things like I can connect with people on FaceTime. I can call friends I haven't talked to in a long time. I can come onto the Facebook groups. I can go into my business coaching groups. There were lots of ways that I could connect. But when I was stuck in that fear, that was all I could think about, was the fear that was happening versus the possibilities. So when you're feeling afraid, write those fears down. You absolutely need to acknowledge them because you have to get them out of your head. And there's a lot of fear right now about not being able to date. So I want you to really write down those fears you're feeling. And then I want you to really take a good look at the possibilities of what you can do to make love at this time happen for you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go through these 4 steps. Now, the other thing that I think is so good to do is to start to visualize what you want. That can look like this. You start with gratitude. And by the way, when you have gratitude, you cannot have fear because gratitude connects you to your heart. It really does connect you to your heart. And your heart is pure unconditional love. So when you have gratitude, you cannot be afraid. So you start to write down things like, I am so grateful that I am safe. I am so grateful I'm healthy, whatever it is. Write whatever's present today that you're grateful for, whether it has to do with dating or anything. It can just have to do with life. Then what I want you to do after you've done that is you start to transition to the future that you're grateful for. So you bring the future into the present. And what that looks like is you can say, I'm so grateful for this amazing man in my life. I'm so grateful when he wraps his arms around me that I feel our hearts connect. I'm so grateful that he is there to keep me safe and protected and provided for. And I'm so grateful I have someone to lean on. So does this make sense, this visualization? Can you write a yes or a no down, someone, in the comments? I would love to hear if this is making sense and if you think it would help you. Just jot down a comment if you have one. It's so important to do this visualization every single day. So what I do in my own life is when I'm laying in bed, oh, thank you, Catherine. Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. Thank you for acknowledging that you get it. And the way to start this is when you get out of bed in the morning or when you get up, instead of reading Facebook, which I many times will do, you start to be grateful for the things that you're grateful for in your life. And then I start to do that. And then I start, for anything future that I want, I start to bring it in the present, act as if it's happened, and I'm grateful for that. So that is the first step for keeping your dream alive, is getting through your fears, acknowledging them, writing out the possibilities, recognizing that your brain likes to be right and that you're telling yourself stories and pointing evidence so it is right, and start to visualize with gratitude, maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day. It's really pretty miraculous what happens. Another thing you can do at this time, since we're all home, is you can do a vision board. And I see some more people commented. Oh, thank you all. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Joan, Maureen, Rose, Linda. Yes, you're getting it. I hope you start doing it. And Gloria, it's really powerful, powerful exercise. Another thing you can do is you can create a vision board. So you want to do like a 5-year vision board. And you want to do this at a time where you're feeling, I don't know what to do right now. So this is a good time to do it. Grab a glass of wine or your favorite cup of tea. put some music on. It's wonderful. Your favorite music. I love Pandora, and it's one of my apps sitting on my Roku, which did take a little to work out, but I figured it out. And but anyway, put some music on. And if you don't have magazines, no worries. All you do is you can go on Pinterest, and you can go on in categories like food you love to cook, handsome men over 50, vacations you want to take, favorite bottles of wine, favorite teas, whatever it is, okay? And you can print out pictures from Facebook, or you can use magazines. If you don't have poster board, then just tape pieces of paper together, and then you can tape all this on the poster board when you are able to get out and get the poster board. So the way you do the vision board is you want to do a 5-year plan, and you want to sit quietly for a minute, and you want to just close your eyes, and you want to just ask your higher power, whatever that is, God or Mother Earth or yourself, and just say, I want to see what the next 5 years looks like for me. And I'm going to, cut pictures out. Please guide me. And then start cutting pictures out that resonate with you, that feel good to you. And I also cut words out as well. And then when you're done with that, you feel kind of complete, start to go through everything, see what feels good to you to put on that board if it still rings true to you, and then start placing it on the board and gluing it down. Then at the bottom or the top of the board, sign your name and write, "This is my 5 years ahead." Now, let me tell you, this has brought amazing things into my life. I remember on one of the boards I once had, there was a guy that was like this. I had picked out a picture like this. I ended up dating a guy who did this. To have his profile picture like this. I didn't realize it right away because I wasn't looking at my visioning board. I also, many years ago, when I was in my 40s, did a vision board that had all this candy on it, and I couldn't figure out why, and I dated a guy that owned a candy company. So it was really funny. Does anyone, write comments down here, has anyone done a vision board, and do you feel this would be helpful to you right now for keeping your dream alive? Just jot down yes if you think it will. I would love to hear. And you can even write how you think it would keep your dream alive. I want to remind you too, because I forgot to mention this, I am going to answer any questions you have, at the end of what we're doing here. So any questions you have about dating, about men, about how to get out there in a better way, save them. And after we're done with these 4 steps, I'm going to help you to get some answers. I want to make sure you're moving forward and you have next step actions. Okay, let's talk about the second way to keep your dream alive. Oh, some people answered. Hang on here. Oh, Gloria. Yeah, Gloria says she forgot to look at her vision board every day. You don't have to look at it every day. I once had one under my bed for years, and I looked at it and I went, oh my God, I couldn't believe how many things came true. There was a picture of the Eiffel Tower and my kids going to France because my daughter was studying in England, and we went over the Channel on the Channel to go to France. And I had no idea that was going to happen. And that thing was under my bed. So you don't have to look at it every day. It's there. It's in your subconscious. Catherine, you do one each year. Yeah, you draw it. Oh my God, how beautiful. Try the Pinterest idea. There's so many great ideas on Pinterest. Kathy made a vision board. Maureen, why do you think it'll be hard to do that vision board? You can let me know. Oh, there's also Wishboard app. Oh, thank you, Arlene. I've never tried that, but if you want to do one on this app called Wishboard app, WISHBOARD, try that out for doing a vision board. I love that. Okay, let's move to the second step, and that is having limiting beliefs about how you feel about yourself. This is something that will hold you back in dating forever. If you think that you are not enough, You are going to go out into the dating world and you're going to feel invisible. And when you feel invisible inside, you give off this vibration that is, don't come near me, or I'm hiding. Literally, you do give off a vibration about how you feel inside about yourself. If you don't feel worthy of having a good guy, and sometimes we don't even realize that. When I work with my group, we do an exercise about limiting beliefs, and I cannot tell you how many women said to me, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel worthy. We don't recognize that. We may feel amazing out in the real world, but we don't always feel so good in the dating world. This is all new stuff to us. Nobody was born to date at this age, and we're like pioneers right now. Hang on one sec. We're like pioneers for dating at this age. And it can bring up all our insecurities about not feeling enough and not being good enough. And what happens is when I work with these women, the biggest question I ask them is, what does it cost you to hold on to this belief you're not enough? And then what it costs them is the man and the relationship they want. This is a really good time to get clear on limiting beliefs and what's holding you back. So think about the things that have kept you from going online, or maybe kept you from going up to a man that you want to talk to in a bar or a restaurant. I remember I went with a friend to a bar. She goes, come on, let's go. She was great at this bar stuff. I was not so good at it. This was also in my 40s. And I remember thinking, who's going to want me? Who's going to want to talk to me? Well, she talked to 5 million people. I talked to no one. Now, later on, when I learned how that I was just great, and a guy needs to prove he's worthy of you versus you bending like a pretzel, proving you're worthy of him. Did anyone ever do that? Bending like a pretzel to prove you're worthy of someone else? Stop it right now. And by the way, Maureen, I want you to hold on to that thought. And when we get to the Q&A, I want to answer this. So if you can copy that, what your comment, I want to give you some ideas about how dreaming and hoping. But let's get back to the limiting beliefs. So then if you hold the limiting belief, you're always going to worry that you're going to be rejected. I want you, during this time of Corona, you have plenty of time to look at yourself and to really get your confidence back, and write down things that you feel are holding you back from finding love. Whether, like I said, it's not good enough, a man my age won't like me, men only like younger women, who's going to want me online? My body's not okay enough. It's not like I was in my 20s. And by the way, men don't know what you look like in your 20s. They only know what you look like now. And they either like you for who you are or they don't. They do not pick your parts and pieces apart. And if they don't like you who you are, if they don't like you as you are, it's not that they are personally rejecting you. You just do not fit the picture of who they think they want. And we do this with men all the time as well. They don't fit the picture of who we think we want. But I want you to write those limiting beliefs down, and I want you to write down what the cost is. What's it costing you to hold on to it? And then try turning the limiting belief around and start to point evidence to the new limiting belief. Does this make sense to everybody about how to do this? I hope so. You can mark in the comments. The third way that you can keep your dream alive during the coronavirus is to date yourself. Now, what the freak does that mean when you hear that? Well, that really just means nurturing yourself during this time, especially if you're alone. Get outside and walk in nature. Stay 6 feet away from people, but walk in nature. Every morning, Levi and I go out into the metro parks here where I live. And it is like it does something for my soul every single day to be in that nature and to see the water, the waterfalls, the buds a little bit coming out on the trees, and to just have my feet in the earth. You want to, during this time of dating yourself, to nurture your soul, mind, body, soul. Look on YouTube for videos, like for physical exercise if you can't get to a gym. My whole family were doing a strengthening arms video. And if anyone wants to know the name of it, the woman's name I think is Holly Doikel. You could just Google Google and YouTube how to strengthen your arms. And we do it on FaceTime. And we're all there, just doing all these arm exercises. You can also meditate. This is a wonderful time to get into meditation or to journal. You don't need a beautiful journal right now. You can look on your, on Amazon and buy one, but you can take a notebook, you can take paper, start to journal about how you're feeling. My daughter, now she's younger, and she started a blog that she posts every day on Facebook about being in this time of the corona, being isolated, and what it's like and what she's doing. And I think it's really important that you track this too. And especially if you're starting to feel down, go back to that first part I talked about and start to write, acknowledge the fear and write the possibilities in your journal. Also, take bubble baths or get a book on Kindle. Everybody can get the Kindle app. It's totally free. I've been reading this fun series by a woman named Wendy Wax. It's about these 4 women that renovate houses. It's totally, it's totally fiction, and it has these 4 women, and they all end up meeting men during this too. But it's just fluff. It's fun. She also wrote one about Downton Abbey, but her name is Wendy Wax, and you can get them from the library. I've actually been getting them from the library. I think the library app, the library app is called Libby. You can also go on to a wonderful app called The Calm. I love The Calm. It gives you sleep stories you can sleep to, but it gives you motivational things to do, breathing exercises. It gives you meditations every day as well. And something else I've done to nurture myself is I'm actually taking virtual singing lessons. I've always wanted to sing, and I sing flat. And so my teacher, who's actually a music teacher and a friend of my daughter's, he said to me, "Let me hear your voice." And so we started talking, and he says, "You should be able to sing. You have inflection in your voice." I think I still sound flat, but it's really fun to do, and we do it virtually. So this is a wonderful time for you to nurture yourself and take care of yourself. I cannot emphasize it enough, because you absolutely, oh, Catherine, you love The Calm. Yeah, it's an amazing app. Write down there why you like it, and everyone can see. Really nurture yourself, take care of yourself. It's going to keep your inner glow up. It's going to keep you moving forward in life. It's going to keep you having optimism during these times we're alone. And it's just, it's such an important thing to do. And a lot of times we subconsciously do it. I want you to consciously write out on your calendar, this is what I'm going to do for me today. It's really going to make you feel better about you. Another fun thing to do is I have been watching a series called Love is Blind. Has anybody watched this show? It's on Netflix. It's about these young couples. They're dressed to the nines, but they go into pods and they blindly meet these people, and they spend hundreds of hours just getting to know them, and they don't see themselves. It'll help you when you get back out there and date to not just base a guy on chemistry. You want to also base him on what's important in life. It's pretty cool. And let's see, I see some people have written in here. Okay, Carrie asked what other apps people are using, and you all can do that on the Facebook group live too. Many times I'll write, what are you doing to nurture yourself today? Okay, the other thing is, can you still date? I'm this all the time. Yes, not a really safe time to do it. What you want to do is virtually. Virtual dating is the same thing I love about this Love is Blind. Many times we go into meeting someone and we're waiting for this zing in our bodies. We're waiting for the chemistry to happen. And you can't necessarily have that happen on Love is Blind or in virtually. But what you can do is you can get to know someone. And then what's so cool about doing it virtually, and you can do it FaceTime, there are free Zoom accounts now you can do this on. You can do it on Skype, you can do it on Google Duo. So you could see how people do things. Like you could see how they move their hands like I move my hands, or you could see how they look up or look down. You get body language that you don't get on the phone. Now, when I work with clients, we create a Quality Man template. And the beauty of this template is it gears you to looking for what you want in a man. So a story of this is I had a client, she was in a walking group with this man, and she decided, or he wanted to go out with her. And she thought, he's not that cute, and I am certainly not feeling the zing here. And I said to her, go back to your Quality Man template, which is your clear vision of the right man for you. Go back to your Quality Man template, see what he's got. She was shocked. He had everything she ever thought she could want in a man. And then when she recognized that he had what she wanted to really be happy beyond chemistry and looks, she started to really fall in love with him, and he became really cute. So that's why I think this virtual dating can really help you. It's also a good time, by the way, to become clear on what you want that goes beyond chemistry. Let me see, I have some comments here. Okay, people are giving some other apps that they want. Okay. Now, when you do date virtually, one of the things you want to do is I actually have my computer lifted up on something, and you can lift your computer on books. I used to be a photographer. This is a really true thing, is if you have a camera down here, or if your computer's down here, you're shooting up your nose. You're also making your neck look crunched like a turkey neck, and we don't need that. So get it up, get that computer or get that phone or whatever you're using up a little bit. When I used to take pictures of people, what was so wonderful, when I held and it was a professional camera, I held it to my eyes. Nowadays, people hold phones down, and it makes you look wider, and it makes your face distort. So get that computer up a little bit. That's just a photography tip from my old days. And thank you, Joan, for reminding me about that yesterday, because I had forgotten about that too. Ginny, Wendy Wax, yes, she is the name of the author. Wonderful. They're just entertaining books, I find. So definitely meet men online, talk to them online. And what else is good about it is you're going to be around male energy. And it's important to be around male energy, and you won't feel so alone. Now, I want to take everyone's questions in a minute, but first I want to share something with you. So we've gone through 4 steps that you can take right now to still be actively getting yourself ready to date, getting your mindset in place to date, and actually dating. And you now have a choice. You can either take this information that I've given you and you can forget about it and put it up in your digital library. And if you do, you can keep struggling to find the right man. You can get frustrated trying to date when you can actually get back out there and date. You could continue to be afraid to meet men in real life. You could continue to spend the holidays on your own. You can continue, God forbid we ever have to do this again, to be self-isolated. And you can continue having the burdens on your shoulder of having to deal with everything. Or you can start working at this time, and this is a perfect time to do it, on attracting the good man into your life that you know that you deserve. And this is the man you've dreamt about, the one you want to share your life with, the one you're going to visualize in step 2. You're going to bring that future to the present. Now, if that man is what you want, here's what I've got for you. I've set aside some time to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your love life. And whatever your biggest challenges are, I've seen them and I've helped women overcome them. What we're going to do is I'm going to set that time aside, and in the session, what we're going to do is we're going to help you craft a step-by-step game plan for attracting the exact man that you want to share your life with. And we'll look at what's been working in your love life and what hasn't been working and what's held you back from finding the right man. And what's the cost of this session? It's absolutely free. But it isn't for everyone. If you want to pick my brain, this is not the time. This is for people that want to be ready to get out there and find love with this when this coronavirus is over. And it's for you if you know you need help finding the right man and you're committed to that dream of finding him and you're willing to take action to change your love life. If this is you, I want you to book a session now with me. And I'm going to put the in the comments down here. Here we go. It's the way to do it is to go to findaqualityman.com/talk to Lisa. See if it came up here and book a session with me. I love, love, love helping women find happiness after 50. I love helping them love themselves, love the men they want to meet, and get out there and find that man. Plus, I know you might need help to get your love life jump-started again when this whole thing is over. And we can talk about what we can do and whether or not we're a fit to work together. The spaces are limited. I want you to sign up now. Let's get your love life turned around, and let's just talk about what's happening for you. I want to read you one thing, and then I'm going to answer your questions, any questions you have. So when clients write to me, it just opens my heart to know that I was able to help them. And I just wanted to share this with you, and then I'm going to answer your questions. So Lena from New Jersey shared this with me. She wrote to me, and it just happened 2 days ago. I'm so grateful I decided to work with you, Lisa. You're amazingly wise and a wonderfully supportive mentor, and you were there for me through my dating process. I hadn't been in a relationship in a long time and was feeling scared to start dating again. You helped me get through the dating challenges with step-by-step advice. My anxieties and fears could easily have steered me in the wrong direction, and almost did a few times. And had you not been there to offer your practical advice, I would still be anxious today and not in the happy relationship with the wonderful man I met. You helped me not only before I met him, but also in the early stages of our relationship, which was incredibly valuable. You are the best. So if you want to go to that link, findaqualityman.com/talk to Lisa. I'd love to talk to you. How about how you can make your life totally different at this time? Okay, some questions. And one of you I had about the hope and the dream. Was that you, Molly? Let's see. Maureen. Okay, Maureen. The hope and the dream. So sometimes I think we've had to stay in survival mode for so long that we forgot how to dream and how to hope. So something you can do is you can just write down things that you've wanted to do for a very long time and haven't been able to do them. You could start with something as simple as, I want to get this drawer decluttered. I know you're thinking that's a hope, that's a dream. It's a start. And you can write, I want to read 5 books over the next 6 months, or I want to meet the man of my life. So Maureen, if you don't mind sharing down here, is there anything you want to do? There you are, Maureen. Hi. So can you write, could you do that? Could you just start small and think about the things you've wanted to do for a while? And Linda, I'll get to you in a minute. I see you had a question there. So, other ways, does anyone else have a hard time dreaming, or does anyone else want to share their dreams so they can give Maureen an idea of what it's like to dream? I know there's a little delay here. In the meantime, while everyone's we're going to go back and forth. Linda, you say you've been on Match since January and you've liked, messaged, and replied to men who messaged you or liked you and you got no response. It gets kind of depressing. So here's the problem. Match.com is a paid dating site, and they have pictures of men on there that do not necessarily, they're not necessarily members. The only people that can actually write to you are people that have paid memberships at Match. By the way, when you end a subscription to a dating site, you can ask them to take your picture off. Otherwise, they'll leave it on, because what happens is you see all these guys on there and you think, oh, there's good guys on there. But the problem is they may not be members. Does that make sense, Linda? So that might be why you're having that happen. Maureen, so travel. Yeah, you can actually travel now, but not the way you think. There are all kinds of virtual programs happening right now where you can look at museums, you could look at places you've never been. You might want to Google virtual travel and pick out a place that you've always wanted to go. And then you can Google it, and I think you'll find that. Okay, Linda, that does make sense. Good. Maureen, does that make sense to do this virtual travel? I mean, to do travel virtually now? It'll also give you an idea of places that you want to go in the future. And if you have any questions, please write them here. I want to make sure that you're getting peace of mind before you leave this training or this class today. Is there a better dating site? Well, no, Match is a good dating site. Zoosk is a good dating site. Elite Singles is a good dating site. They're all good dating sites. The problem is they're paid dating sites and you just don't know who's on them. I'd have women go on Plenty of Fish and date some nice guys. The reason they like it is it makes you feel like the belle of the ball because everybody can write to you. And so that makes you feel good. But I also think you need to be on a paid dating site too, as well. If that doesn't make sense, Linda, write me again. All right, Joan, there was an excellent article in our group on Monday about the difference between the way men and women think. Women overthink everything, especially when dating, and men think in the moment. What are your best tips about how to not overthink and try and get inside men's heads? So, Joan, great question. When I work with women, I always teach them the language men speak and hear and how men think. Men do not think like we do. So right now I'm talking to you, but I'm keeping an eye on Levi over here, and I'm watching out the side of my eye the street and what's happening in case he's going to go and park. But the thing is a man would be sitting here paying attention right here. He'd be single focused. And he would only be thinking about doing this class. That's the difference between a man and a woman. Like if you ever used to watch TV with a guy that was in your life, you could look around the room and see the messes everywhere. He would look around the room and only see the TV. So that is a big difference in the way men think. And in my group, we always talk about men. In fact, I have men come into the group and talk to the women in my group because they can ask the man right to his brain what he's thinking and how he feels about it. So the thing about overthinking, it's just what we do as women. Our brains are wired that way because back in the caveman days, when men were off hunting and they had to stay single focused or they would have been eaten by the animals, the women sat by the fire, excuse me, and they talked because that kept the animals away. Joan, let me know if that makes sense or if you need more clarity. Maureen, you are so welcome. I can't wait to hear. I hope you'll post what I hope you'll post the virtual travel places that you went to. Okay, Ginny, I heard what you said, read dating sites, but do you have a preferred paid dating site for us? So here's what I found. With my clients, I have found that depending on the region you're in and the city you're in, some dating sites are better than others. Like I found on the East Coast, Match.com was generally better. And on the West Coast, I had clients that did better with Zeus. Is that consistent? Nope. You're going to have to go on. You're going to have to look at the pictures. I just suggest that you only do it for the shortest amount of time you can sign up for. And the reason for that also is because it'll give you an idea what that site is. And when you sign up for the shortest amount of time and you don't re-sign up, they come back with great deals and you can sign up for cheaper. Okay, anyone else have a question? So I just want to leave you with this thought. If you have a question, write it in there. This is a time to get things together for you, to really get in place these inner dating skills, getting clarity on the right men for you. We do have another question, but hang on. If we're getting clarity on the right man for you, this is just a wonderful time for doing the prep work. This is what I do in my group with all these women, and they come away saying they feel so much better about themselves and they feel so much better about men because they have support and they have action steps. If you want to be in a positive community, that is a place to be, and we can talk about that, and you can go to the link I gave you. I'm going to put it here again. findequalityman.com/talk to Lisa. Make a huge difference for you. Okay, Catherine, I've been out of the dating scene for a long time. Now that I'm single, widow, I'm clueless if a man is flirting with me or not. It seems the men I met while out and about will often tell me about their health and financial situation, which seems like odd small talk with a stranger. Is this flirting? I didn't have this happen when I was married. And if this is flirting, what do I say? So, good question. If they're talking about their health and their financial situation, they actually like you. They're trying to impress you, believe it or not. I know that's, like, why would you do that? But what they're saying to you is, I can keep you safe, protected, and provided for. Now, some men are really good at flirting, and some men, just like many women, some women are not. There's some women that are also good at flirting. I said that is not flirting what he's saying to. He's just showing you. He's kind of strutting his stuff and proving that he's really okay, an okay guy for you. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have this when you're married because people wouldn't talk about stuff like that. All right, Tracy, I just joined the discussion. Pardon me if this came up. Many guys send me a message saying, hey, gorgeous, hey, sexy, hey, beautiful. Are these guys scammers? No, not necessarily scammers. What they could be are just guys that think you're really nice looking. Scammers have a pretty set thing that they write to you, and they're going to try and get you to the phone right away because they want to, they can't get to your weaknesses in texts and emails. They can't write the English language that well. On the phone, they have beautiful accents, and they can start to find out the things in your life that you love, you hate, that hurt you. They will understand. You will feel like, oh my God, this man understands me, and you fall in love with him. And then what happens is that's when he puts the scam in. Tracy, if that doesn't help, let me know. Okay, we have another person. Let's see. Can you give a quick bullet point review of the 4 steps? Yeah, I'd be happy to. Hang on one second, and Catherine, you're welcome. The quick bullet point of the 4 steps. Okay, hang on. I brought up the wrong document again. Okay, step number 1 is recognizing your fears and then writing them down, and then writing the possibilities to overcome the fears. But you want to write the fears down, Jenny. And you also want to be careful of the stories that you're telling, and you want to visualize every morning what it is that you want in the future, but you make it as if it's happened in the present. You want to stay aware of limiting beliefs. These are beliefs about ourselves that actually send a vibration out through our profiles and for meeting men in real life about how we feel about ourselves. And subconsciously, your belief system, your vibration can push men away. We work deeply on this in our group together, and with private clients, I work on this. The third step is dating yourself right now. This is getting your inner glow back. You want that inner glow. This is a great time to get your confidence back, to just get your energy up. And you want to consciously every single day do something for yourself. In fact, mark it on your calendar, schedule it in. Because if you're just subconsciously doing it, it's not like a treat. If you see it on your calendar, it's like a treat. And you go, oh my God, at 4 o'clock, I'm going to listen to the Calm or read 20 pages of my book or whatever it was. And then the fourth thing was dating virtually. This is a good time to get to know men at this time, but be careful. Put that camera up so you're at a good angle to the camera. Okay, Ginny, those were the 4 steps. Also, this Facebook Live will be in our Facebook group for you to come back to. Let me know if you need to know more. Patricia Coulard, am I in a relationship? Well, that is a good question, of course. And Karen, what are other scams to be aware of when online dating? There's the military one where they, they're alone in the military, that kind of thing. But the biggest ones it's pictures of men who look too good to be true. And they usually have products in their hand of some kind of object, because it's model pictures that they've had, that they internet. And there are blogs on my website at findaqualityman.com. Go to the blog page when you're there and put in scammers, and you can read some of those blogs about scammers. Also get the free ebook there, 5 Little Known Secrets for Finding a Quality Man. That's it, Find the Quality Man. Okay, Ginny, you're so welcome. I'm glad that was helpful to you. Okay, Kathy, what are the biggest do's and don'ts when starting to date again? Okay, well, one of the biggest don'ts is don't hang around people that are negative about dating. That is really tough, and it can scare you and keep you from getting out there and dating. And the biggest do is to really get your confidence in place, to get an understanding of men, to get clarity on the right man for you, who's the perfect fit, and to have a dating blueprint for getting out there, for finding men. This is what I do with all my clients. And another don't, let me think if I could think of another don't. Oh, don't knock out nice guys. I told a story earlier about a client that this nice guy wanted to date her and she wasn't feeling it. And she looked at her Quality Man template and she realized, oh my God, he had everything she wanted. So don't knock guys out, because they might have everything you want, and then they can really start to appear cute to you, and they can really start to, you can really end up falling for them like she did. Okay, I think I'm going to wind this down. I hope you enjoyed this. My voice is getting hoarse, and I need to have my singing lesson tomorrow, which is something I'm doing to nurture myself. Oh, wait, one last question I saw came up. Maureen, how do you know when you have found the quality man that's right for you? You want a Quality Man template. That's how you know. And if you want to talk about any of that, go to this link and set up a time to talk to me about, how to make that work for you. Okay. Oh, Catherine, you're so welcome. I loved having all of you here. My passion truly is helping you love yourself, love men, and find the right man for you. And I'm in the Facebook group. I don't want you to feel isolated. Let's all stay positive in that Facebook group, because focusing on your problems gets you nowhere. You want to stay positive. So I'm sending you lots of love and hugs. Until next time, bye-bye.